Okay, now everything's good and dry, and I'm going to show you how I do the rest of the detail work on the rock. And when I do these little side-loaded floats to create the little rock work around the door, I basically just want the effect. It's hard for me to talk and concentrate, so I get each stroke just right. I want the effect of a shadowed and then a little highlighted side to each little stone. And I know you're thinking, well, you're shading white over white, but you'll actually be able to see it when the end result is completely done. All right, so that has to dry, and we will. And there again, this is the side-loaded float. This is where you start with the water in the brush. You have just a tiny little touch of paint on the brush. And for these kind of small detailed strokes, I do like to use the angle brush, but you can still use a flat brush and get the same effect. I'm just used to using the angle brush when it comes to all these little detailed side-loaded floats, so that's what I use. And just from floating that darker brown edge around the wooden door part, you can see it already recessed that door instead of it looking flat like this one does. It pushed that door back. So now we are going to take the same brown, and this is just burnt umber, and the same side loading, and do the blending so that your colors are softer. And we are going to float the burnt umber around the outer edge of our little rock work. And what that will do is even push that element back. So you've already created 2 layers, the door insetting it into the rock work, and then you've pushed the entire door section into the body of the house by doing nothing but a side-loaded float of paint. Okay, now hopefully this is dry. We are going to do a float of black to then push the rock work. I don't know how to describe it other than the brown that's here and the black that's here almost gives it where like if you were sewing and the seam is indented, that's kind of the effect that you want, so that you end up with the more dimensional look to your little door instead of it just being flat. Then you want to do the same thing around your windows. So you will do all the floating, and then that will push each of those windows into the body of the little house. So we'll be back after I get all of my floating done, and I'll show you what it looks like before the next step.